Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Garnet Chronicles tournament. The Garnet Chronicles tournament is, of course, a part of the Gaming Stadium's Signature Series presented by Daily Hive. If you're ever wondering what's going on in Vancouver today, Daily Hive has you covered. Check them out at dailyhive.com. I'm one of your casters today, Momo Jelly.
And I'm Noir. Nice to be casting the gaming stadium. This is my first time casting with Momo. We both casted different things before, but never together. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see some really great games. You know me, I love esports, and speaking of esports, today's event is put on by Canada's leader in esports, the Gaming Stadium. Are you looking for the next big thing in competitive gaming? Well, look no further. The team at the Gaming Stadium are leaders in online esports tournaments and events. Check out the action at tgs.gg.
Yeah, I'll definitely be looking up at their website to see other tournaments coming along. Hopefully more Shadowverse tournaments in the future, but other games as well if you're interested. And if you're looking for any improvements on your setup for participating in these tournaments, look no further than Kanto Living. If you're looking for those final pieces, you can find everything you need to build the best workstation or battle station at kantoliving.com. Check out their monitor mounts, speakers, and stands today. So today we're hopping straight into round 7 of the Swiss rounds before going into another Swiss round and then eventually top 8 today. What are you looking forward to for the day?
So in the post-nerf meta, we've seen a lot of decks come out and be competitively viable. There are a lot of classes, and even within those classes, there are multiple decks that are, really quite good, at least, tier 2, tier 1. And right now, the gap between tier 2 and tier 1, it almost doesn't exist. Everything is really, really close in terms of power level. It's not like before where there was like 1 tier 0, 1 tier 1. Now there's a ton of variety, and that is both, you can take that you can interpret that in any way that you want, but I'm hoping to see, I think Loxus is pretty low-key good right now. It would be really fun to see that. I love seeing Loxus, but OTK Sword as well is another one of my favorites right now, and there are just so many decks. I mean, they're all going to be a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. The first match that we'll actually be watching today is a returner on the Gaming Stadium's tournament series. We've got THGB's HAR3M, who's playing Sword again, though who knows if he's got Chariots this time. He's also playing Portal. And he'll be playing against Twilight Knight's Zai, who is playing Shadow and Portal in this first match. So it'll be interesting to see what decks they're bringing exactly, because even though we know their classes, it is a closed deck format. So we might see a Last Word Shadow, we might see a Mech Shadow. The Portal decks that we've been seeing have all been very mech focused, but the builds have kind of had some variance in terms of whether they're using an evolution package, whether it's more puppet and tempo focused. So there's definitely a lot of choices to make in deck building. As you said, that the meta is very vast right now, a lot of variety. Right. Nothing's completely settled in. There's definitely a lot of room for the meta to evolve, both in JCG's tournaments and today's tournaments and the SVOs coming up. And I'm very excited for this ride of an expansion. And here we go into the first game.
THGB HAR3M versus TK Zai. We're going right into it. And HAR3M with the go first card, very impressive as always. Okay, it does look like he's playing a variant of, he's playing Evo Sword. Oh, okay, let's go. Ada coming in turn 1. He's gonna have the Evos stacked up right away for that Skybound art. TK Zai with the very standard Machina portal here. We're gonna have to see if he's running more of that puppet support, or maybe we could see Maisha as well. Mega Enforcer, really nice going second. Okay, so that's a lot of Evo synergy right there, and some fusion material for Baphomet. Okay, Flying Messenger Squirrel. When I saw that, I thought it might have been Rally Sword. I got a little bit debated there, but there is no mistaking that. That is definitely Evo Sword. Enforcer coming in, gonna get a nice trade over there onto the 1-3.
Unfortunately, no absolute tolerance yet in that Portal hands. So Even though
Mm-hmm.
he's Enforcer is a very good card for starting to get that reductions on Absolute Tolerance early, but still a lot of tempo still going into these early turns.
Right. There are a few ways for Portal to stack up the tolerance count really quickly. Mega Enforcer is a pretty good one, and the regular Enforcer, as you said, is pretty efficient as well. Usually, it's not too big of a deal if we don't see Absolute Tolerance until a little bit later, but we are going to have to see how Zai manages the fusions, because when he fuses into Baphomet, it's going to summon those tentacles, and how he times those, given whether he has tolerance or not, is definitely going to be important. Ramiel on turn 4 here, no questions asked. Very nice. Gonna ramp him up to 6 play points here going into turn 5.
We might even get to see a turn 8 Baphomet if we make it to that point.
Yeah, hopefully we will, because it is Evo Sword. They're kind of a control deck a little bit, so not going to be putting up too much pressure. Zai will definitely have time to play that Baphomet. Now, Evo Sword, it's not the worst at dealing with stuff like Baphomet. They have so much late game power as well with all of the cost reduction. Sarah looking like it could be the option here. A lot of medium cost cards here for HAR3M. There's a lot of options. He has a full hand. Probably isn't going to play the unscrupulous preparation here.
But who knows? I feel like with HAR3M, we never know what to expect.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely. I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Like when I was thinking of OTK swords today, I was thinking more Balian focused things, but we might end up seeing like this. We've got an Ada, a Gino, and an Albert in hand, so we might see a sword OTK potentially in this game.
This is like the older OTK sword. This was from way back in the day. I mean, I say that, but
that was like the last expansion.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah is going to come down alongside the Ramiel. We're playing Wardhaven here. Going to trade over that Ramiel and just put up a bunch of dudes, and hopefully this is going to create the space necessary for HAR3M's game plan with the Ada on turn 8. Zai still no Absolute Tolerance. We are going to need some of that damage to actually win the game, because Baphomet for the full 9 cost is nice and all. You have a crazy board. If any of them survive, you're in a great position, but Evo Sword is not bad at dealing with that, and you're definitely going to want the storm damage in general, but especially against something like Evo Sword.
Yeah. Having 2 Nefarious Invasions at hand makes it really easy for Zai to just go for one of them on this turn to clear out this board, and still have one per turn for the 7 play point turn if he desires.
Yeah, both of these players basically just gonna play setup here for the entire early and mid game. It's not until turn 8+ where we're gonna see basically an explosion coming out from both of these sides. Another Seophon being drawn here. Nice combo piece. We could see the nice SSA Ward Seophon. We do have the Outlaw Gunner in hand as well, so that could be a really, really good way for HAR3M to basically just win the game outright, because I don't think Machina Portal actually has a way to win the game without attacking face.
Yeah, I mean, Megara does some face damage, kind of.
But it's never going to be enough, hopefully. At least for the side of HAR3M. This is, I've talked about HAR3M in the past about how he's a really flexible player. He always brings decks, especially in a 2-deck format, that like to target what's popular and try to eke out those advantages, because these matchups, if you know how to take advantage of the weak points in all of these popular decks, especially relatively early in a meta, we've just had the nerf come out very recently, you can find yourself with a really good advantage. And going for these SSA Ward Seophons, and if you don't know, by the way, Seophon, you can put a ward on him, and then if he has his full effect, he cannot be attacked, or he can be attacked, but he cannot be destroyed, cannot be damaged. So it's basically an invincible ward. And that would pretty much be HAR3M's win condition for this matchup.
He does have 2 of them, so he's hovering one right now. I'm not sure what his option's going to be here. Clearing out these 2 Combustion Demons shouldn't be the most challenging, but how he goes about it will be interesting to see.
Okay, another Outlaw Gunner, so that means the one he has already, he can use it if he wants. The Squirrel is active, so he can draw even more cards, but he's going to have to empty his hand out a little bit first. I think we don't have that many Evos yet, so these Adas and the Seophons are still a long way from being active.
Mm-hmm.
Flying Messenger Squirrel coming out. We are going to overdraw one. Okay, we could use Wings to regen an Evo point, but that is pretty slow. Could actually
Yeah, I mean,
give...
he did that last turn, but...
Okay, gonna clear out the Combustion Demon, no problem. Cards like these are really, really easy for Evo Sword to clear out. Board clear is never the issue with Evo Sword in particular. It just comes down to, I guess, the late game cheese, how you're gonna try to win the game from there. Iolan gonna come out here, gonna add that repair mode and cycle a card next turn. Most likely gonna look for a good setup into Belphomet. Is gonna fuse one repair mode here.
And get a tentacle, the armored one.
Evolve that over the 3/3, and oh, is that?
And now Grimnir is active.
Grimnir is active. Okay, well, I wasn't even keeping track of Evos for the right deck apparently. So, yeah, Grimnir actually, yeah, we saw the Veer earlier. That was, I guess, what we needed to figure out that Grimnir was probably in the deck as well. Okay, but Ada gonna come down. That's the cost reduction. All of these cards rather are gonna cost 0, and he can evolve a bunch of things with the first Seophon and try to stack up for that second one. I haven't been keeping track exactly. I think it's like, okay, so Ada's gonna Evo here. I think that puts us at like 3 or 4 Evos.
Yeah, I think that'll be the 4th Evo because he did regen an Evo with the Wings of Tomorrow, so he's used up all of his Evo points, so that's 3 Evos just in that.
Okay. And we can get a whole bunch of more Evos with the first... I think we can't get the Ward SSA until next turn, if I'm not mistaken. But that is already looking pretty good.
And you can push damage with the Gino and Albert this turn as well.
Here, I'm going over all of his options. I think making sure that there is actually no better play than what he's about to do is going to clear up some board space here, get Storm onto that Gino, and then I think now he's looking for the Evos. Okay. Another Ada off the top.
Some Evos.
Okay, gonna leave it at there. Okay, yeah. Because with that board space, like, you already can't do the SSA on this turn, so it's gonna have to be next turn. Belphomet gonna come down as we expected. Turn 8 after the Ramule. The Tentacles coming out, and then here are all the boys coming to the yard, or girls rather, or machines.
Yeah, they're sister-coded machines, yeah?
Yeah. There's some new flavor.
Stephanie, Electo, and Megara.
Electo finally useful just because she's summoned alongside everybody else. And there's the buff. Okay, so this is... Okay, yeah, so we just did like a million effects all at once by playing one card, but here comes the SSA Seophon, I have to imagine, for Harem. And the thing is, this board is really scary, and a lot of decks, especially a lot of less refined decks, might just fold right away against this, especially because the Symphony can't be destroyed by card effects. So it just makes it extra hard to remove, but with the ward that cannot be interacted with meaningfully, I'm not sure if Zai is going to have any way to deal with that besides, I guess, a dream clear with Grimnir. It is possible to just go all face.
Yeah, just go all face, because the Megara's also going to go face at the start of turn, if not removed, so...
Alright, so it's pretty winnable still.
I mean, the Albert might come down and then clear off what he can so that Megara doesn't do damage. And that seems to be what he's going for here.
Okay, so Megara at the start of turn does 5 damage. So we only need to shoot face 3 times. Okay, no, the Megara's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleared out I mean, high roll with Grimnir.
Give Harem a taste of his own medicine. This is even less likely though than the 1 in 8 chariot. So I don't know if Zai has another option though. Filware in hand. I'm not sure what that can do in this situation. There's still no way to get past the SSA Seofon, the ultimate cheese, as you might call
the
it.
SSA, if we can get rid of the Albert, the Seofon by himself isn't lethal next turn, so maybe we can try to eke out damage in terms of like the Grimnir, the Colossus Omega.
There's the Colossus Omega, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there's still ways to push in some face damage if we can just survive for Zai.
That's definitely true. And in hand, I'm not sure about the first Wings of Tomorrow. That might actually summon the 5/5, so that could be lethal.
That could be lethal, you're right. I haven't seen them in a while.
It's been a long time. We haven't seen Evo Sword in a while, but in terms of being a meta call against decks like this, it's really, really smart, I think. It is a really good choice, especially if you don't need to win very quickly. Zai gonna let the timer run, really thinking about it. Is he gonna summon just another Baphomet here? A Nefarious Invasion gonna come out. You gotta go fast, my guy. Diffuse into Baphomet and summon
another
Storm Tentacle. I'm not sure if that's what he was looking for here. That's just gonna be lethal really easily for Albert off the top. Just in case you needed one. I mean, like, why not?
Yeah.
Harem gonna take game 1 super easily. Not really a whole lot that Zai could do, especially once that SSA ward Seofon was online. The unclearable ward, Aegis but better. Can't really do a whole lot about that.
And Harm just really always coming in with the unexpected sword deck and getting that unexpected sword win with his unexpected deck.
Yeah, that is basically the low-key meta for a closed deck format where you're allowed to sort of swap decks in and out based on your opponent. If you see your opponent has Portal, like, there's realistically only one thing that could be, right? Even the variations are mostly the same thing. So you bring in the Evo Sword, give them the cheese that they actually cannot win against. They literally cannot beat you in that matchup. So really great call from Harem. If it was a different lineup, maybe we could have seen the Rally Sword, but really great call out there. But now we've got the real skillful matchup, the Portal Mirror. You love to see it.
Both running the Evolution package with Grimnirs.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea to have these Grimnirs because honestly with this deck, sometimes you just struggle to win the game because you can make strong boards, but then if anything gets cleared or even if something lives, you might still not win. There's a lot of situations where like you have one thing lives, you're like, oh yeah, I've got a board surviving, and then you still can't win because your deck is just, there's no damage. But with Grimnirs, that is a pretty good solution. Harem gonna pass turn 2, make sure that he can guarantee the Ramiel, and since he's going second, he can go with Sylvia first into Ramiel with pretty common combo there. Zai gonna tempo out the 3/3 Combustion Demon.
Nothing to fuse into this Baphomet. He fused one of his Baphomets into the other last turn, but just nothing to do for turn 3 here. Though as you mentioned, the turn 4 will be pretty strong with the Sylvia into Ramiel.
Yeah, Zai gonna tempo out the Enforcer here and hold on to the Combustion Demon for later on. He wants to get the free Evos to stack up his Grimnir, but this is a really ideal answer from Harem. Instantly slams the Sylvia into Ramiel. Ramiel on 4, 2 games in a row. Nothing to sneeze at there for sure. Gonna be on the fast track to Spinaria in his hand, actually, and that's a pretty good turn 6 play. Gonna summon a few artifacts. Haven't seen that in a while, and yeah, that's gonna be a pretty strong mid game. I'm not sure how much the mid game is even gonna matter though, realistically, in this matchup. We haven't seen Absolute Tolerance. It really makes you wonder if they're not replaying it, but I figure they have to be, right?
I mean, that's what I fear the most when I run into Portal and Ladders. Are they just gonna hit me with 2 Absolute Tolerances on like turn 6 or 7? That's my biggest fear. So it'd be quite the choice if neither player is playing it, but
sometimes when you don't see it for a long time, you just have to wonder if he just took himself out of your deck. And
He's on
Okay, good.
vacation.
Yeah.
Enjoying the summer.
Enjoying the summer while we're over here playing Portal Mirrors. Iolan Remains gonna come out pretty late. Airstrike and Ward, I have to assume, coming out here from Spinaria, really typical here.
Even evoing that airstrike, getting an additional evo, that puts HAR3M at 3 evos. Only needs 2 more for those Grimnirs.
A really nice board pressure coming down here. Oh, there's so many Grimnirs. Okay, Sylvia coming down. Pretty good evo
and
there.
Then Sylvia coming down again.
The double Sylvia into a Failware, maybe.
What a nice curve. Like, or what a good turn. A lot of good things happening here.
Yeah. Just play the flashy cards, and here we go. That's gonna deal no damage, actually, because we didn't have the other effect. Okay, but it is gonna make that the Bane a 0 attack. Not gonna matter, but this is gonna be a Folk there. Gonna leave a 4-2 left over with Ward. So yeah, I mean, even though Sword is not in this game, both players are pretty good at removing the boards that the other player makes. So that's why Grimnir is gonna be such a big deal in this matchup, because you can get chip damage, but your board state isn't necessarily a big deal. If you can deal damage, because there's not a whole lot of healing in this deck, you want to push damage as soon as possible with whatever options you have, like Spinaria for 6 with the Assault Tentacle, and then hopefully Grimnir can finish off the game later on, even if they have a really insane board state earlier on. You have to hit the board clear and the Grimnir, but if you have double Grimnir, you could maybe go for the RNG roll there and look for lethal.
This Combustion Demon, super clean, super easy turn here to clear out the board and get Zai to 6 evos, I believe. So these Grimnirs are in action.
In action, indeed. So both of these players have a few things going well for them. Combustion Demon being drawn off the top just slams it instantly.
No, thanks, just Combustion Demons.
Perfect at removing himself here, and gonna pre-fuse into the Baphomet and set up for all the possibilities on the next turn. Off the top, Enforcer, not a very impactful card at this stage, especially not without Absolute Tolerance in hand. This is one of those turns where, like, you have Grimnirs and he's set up, but then you don't have anything else. Like you have no ways to make sure that A, you don't die, and B, you can actually make a clear pathway for Grimnir to hit face. So it's really awkward here for Zai. The Nefarious Invasion is an option unless he wants to just slam it. Okay.
All right, here goes the first one. It's not all face.
Okay, we cleared one of them. Oh. Okay, we're just double slamming. I guess he just wants to... Oh, wait a sec. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
Oh, that's really awkward. Okay, I get there's just literally no way that HAR3M doesn't have lethal here. And no matter how it pings, it is guaranteed to win eventually, I'm pretty sure. So HAR3M gonna take that really clean set. A little unfortunate there for TK Zai, kind of not having a whole lot of great options across both games, but you know, well played to HAR3M there. Gonna take it with really good meta call with the Evo Sword, matching it up against the Machina Portal. Basically, a really extremely favored matchup, and then going into the mirror, gets a better setup and finds the early damage and gets a really clean win.
Yeah, definitely a really interesting game.